Good morning and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, then please take a moment to check out some of my other content. If you like what you see on today's video, please take a moment to like, share and consider subscribing to the channel. So today we are looking at the streets in Kamala. The street in particular today is called Na Hat, and we're going to take a wander down there. The topic for today's video is a business in Thailand. I'm standing right at the end of this road, Soi, and behind me is the very well known Cape Sena, which is quite an exclusive area. There's some really nice accommodation just up the road behind here. But we are going to walk it down the road and take a look at, I guess you'd call it the main part of Kamala, the area that has the most shops, restaurants and accommodation. So let's get into the video. So just across the road there you can see a 7-Eleven right at the end of the site. Very convenient for me. I've just had my regular drink to start the day off with because it looks like it's going to be another scorcher today. There's a small sea inlet. We're at the very southern end of Kamala Beach, and this road runs parallel, not all the way down the beach, but some of the way down the beach, as you will see, and then it heads more back towards the main road that we covered the other day on the first video of the streets of Kamala. Also a very pretty looking temple here as well. I haven't explored that temple, I must admit. I haven't visited it, but I did notice when I was walking down that this area just in front here, they've got horses. So obviously if you want to ride on the beach of Kamala on a horse, and then this is where you need to come, I'm guessing. There was a horse in there a few minutes ago. I don't know where he's gone. Maybe he's gone out on his trip down the beach. I've already seen people on horseback riding along the beach. You're not allowed to do it by yourself. Well, at least I don't think you are. There's normally a person with you controlling the horse and just walking the horse along. Over there, that's where I'm guessing you have to go. The horse has disappeared. And so you don't see that on many of the beaches around Phuket. Regarding dogs, I think that's a good thing, to be honest. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to be making our way parallel with the beach for a little way, and we'll take in the very nice scenery here. What this guy's doing here. Swadee Krap. No, it's okay. Mun Thai, yeah, it's okay. Thank you. He's doing something to do with fishing, offering me a Mun Thai poster. Plenty of that goes on over here. So as I mentioned at the start, we are going to be discussing or touching on the subject of business out here in Thailand, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people interested in that subject. Some of you will know, of course, myself and my wife have businesses over here, and we have had a business in Thailand or Phuket for well over 10 years. The wife's doing something right, because if you can get a business open and running for longer than 12 months here in Phuket, then you're doing extremely well. The problem that I find with business over here is it's all too easy to open a business. However, it's not so easy to make it last and make it work and actually earn money, because one of the biggest obstacles here for businesses is the fact it's so easy to open a business. And you might be thinking, well, that's a bit of a strange comment, but the reason why I say that is there is a lot of competition, and I do mean a lot of competition, which isn't always healthy for business owners. It's good for the customer, but it's not good for the business, because no matter how cheap you are, there will be always somebody who will be willing to undercut you, and this is not a good thing, because you end up in the situation where you don't really make any money, or any money that you make is so small it's just not worth the effort of doing the business in the first place. So this is one of the big downsides. Of course, if you're going to come over here to open a business, you're going to need the applicable visa, unless you're in a similar position to what I am myself, married to a Thai lady. Obviously everything is done business wise. Nat's the business owner, not me, because it just keeps things simple. You have to be very trusting in your partner, but we've been together over 10 years, so there's no reason for me not to trust Nat. And if I didn't trust her, then we wouldn't be married. There's no point in marrying somebody that you don't trust. A little bit of building going on there, a little bit of noise. I hope you can hear okay. So of course, if you're not in the same position and have a partner that's Thai, or you have a partner that's Thai but you don't trust them 100%, and I know that can happen over here, a foreigner and a Thai lady will get together, but obviously money's involved and that can cause some issues. So if you want to do it the legal way, as regards being able to have a claim on the business, then you obviously will need a business visa to allow you to do that and set up a business, which is going to cost a fair amount of money. There are various companies offering to set up businesses for you at a discounted price, and if you watched the video yesterday about the cost of living and scams, and me saying the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That goes for these companies offering to set businesses up for you. Be very, very careful with these companies, because should you run into problems with your business and they find that something is not legit, then that is going to go against you basically, and you could end up losing an awful lot of money, depending on of course what business you're setting up. And if you are thinking of opening a business here in Thailand, then I would strongly recommend you do everything by the book and cover all the bases as much as possible. Be wary of companies that are going to set you up company names for ridiculously low figures. I believe that you need a few million baht to open a business account. To set up a business, sorry. I haven't looked into it for a while, to be honest. I think it used to be 4 million baht, but I think the figures dropped down. I think you can do it for 2 million if I remember right, but again, double check that, because the problem is things change over time. I know it used to be something like 4 million baht that you had to invest or put in a bank account for equity for the business. And there are companies, as I say, that will do it for you, or open an account and set up a business for you for a lot less money. However, it's not all legitimate, and there are other ways as well where you can use nominees to set up businesses. So a lot of foreigners go this route. Again, you need to be very, very careful with this, because they've had a massive clampdown on nominee businesses, because obviously the government realise that this is being used incorrectly, and they're clamping down on it because they know full well that the Thai shareholders do not have the overwhelming power in the business. It is the foreigner, and it has been reported in the media quite a lot lately where they have arrested people for this and closed down the businesses. I guess you'd call them dissolved. And that is something that you need to think about very carefully. If you're going to go that way, I wouldn't advise you doing business that way with nominees Or if you're going to do it that way, you need to make sure that it's all done above board, because should it be investigated, you could lose everything, because people are doing at the moment. Word of caution there, well, actually doing business over here is not as easy as people believe. They think they can open a business here. A few nice little places here. You can see we're still running parallel with the beach. Nice view in the morning there. Very nice. People believe they're going to open a business here and from day one they're going to make loads of money, and realistically that isn't the way it goes. There's so much competition here, and it's very difficult with advertising in Thailand. They don't really seem to do a lot of advertising. It's all word of mouth. Social media can help to some respects, but it's not guaranteed. And it is difficult at times because there's so many businesses here all fighting for the same customers. I mean, for example, my wife, she has a beauty salon as well as the hire business, but there are like 10 beauty salons in any one road. So you really need to be good at what you do to start with. Don't go into business if you've never run a restaurant and you decide you want to open a restaurant. That is not a good idea for business over here. You really need to be doing something that you excel at and that you are really, really good at, because otherwise you're going to get swallowed up in amongst all the other businesses, and you need something that makes you stand out from the crowd, because there's so many. And we're finding now, because it's high season, everybody wants to rent and hire motorbikes and cars. So again, it's fierce competition. Now this is very good for the customer, because customers can get low prices, but businesses have to make money. Otherwise all you're operating is a debt. You don't actually have a business. If you don't make any money, then it's just a debt, because there are costs involved. You have to have business premises which you have to pay rent on, the same as we do, and that can vary depending on the size and location of your premises. You've got overheads and costs associated with the business, staff, and if you're doing it yourself, then of course there's still daily costs involved, electric, etc. So you've got to make a certain amount of money. And what I find over here is a lot of people open businesses without doing any research, without a business plan, or even knowing how much their product actually costs them. Whatever their business is, if it's a restaurant, how much the dishes actually cost to make on the menu before they actually price it up. Can they make a profit from it? They don't do any research to see what places locally to their business are doing the same, because at the end of the day you all have to compete with each other for too fewer customers. I'll be honest with you, there's so many businesses here and not enough customers. Really you want it the other way around. You want too many customers and not enough businesses. To make money, that's how business works. It's all about supply and demand. If you've got too much supply and not enough demand, you're not going to make enough money from your business. You want it the other way around, and unfortunately, Swadee Krap, as you can see, there's a massage shop there and there's a massage shop there. The girl's waving. So straight away, that's just one example that I could give you. You know, there's sometimes you get 4 or 5 massage shops in a row, and personally I don't think that's great for business, because the customer can go to each business asking how much, and they say, well, next door will do it for 200, and then next door will do it 150, and you end up offering these services and not actually making any money. So this is something to think about over here, especially here in Phuket. One of the reasons why we live here in Phuket, it's not our most favourite place in Thailand to live. Me and Nat both love the Krabi district and also Chiang Mai, but they're both not great for the types of businesses that we have, because Nat's works within the beauty and salon industry. Krabi has a high proportion of Muslims and they don't use chemical treatments on their hair, so that's not good for the business. And it's a similar situation in Chiang Mai. The cost of living is a little bit cheaper in Chiang Mai, so of course you can't charge as much and there's not as much profit, which makes it more difficult to make money. And at the end of the day, if you've got a business, then you're in business to make money, otherwise you're wasting your time. And this is one of the hardest challenges you're going to have over here. A lot of people come over with a pocket full of money, with not really solid ideas, open a business, and within 6 months it's closed and gone, because they've not done any costings, they've not looked at the local area to make sure what competition is around there, if there's a call for that business, if there's a demand, and what sort of pricing you need to price whatever you're doing at, because that is vital. Now, with our hire business, I do not try to be the cheapest, because if you're going to be the cheapest, then all that's going to happen is you're not going to be able to pay for maintenance on the bikes, maintenance on the cars. And a lot of these hire companies, they run the bikes into the ground, they run the cars into the ground, because they make so little profit they can't afford to have a service done on the bikes. And this, whilst the customer may think they're getting a bargain because they're getting a bike for 200 baht or 250, whatever it may be, they're not, because what they're actually doing is hiring something that's extremely dangerous, because probably the tyres are worn out, the brakes haven't been changed in years. Yeah, you know, these are the things that maybe some of the bearings are starting to go, and it makes the bike dangerous. The same with cars, it's the same situation. And if you're going to operate a business on a shoestring, then you're not going to be able to look after and reinvest in the business. All you're going to do is take money out of the business, and that isn't what we're in business for. We offer a fair price product within the marketplace. Now, as you can see, I've actually got back to the main road quicker than I anticipated. So this is the main road that I filmed the other day. As you can see, it runs right through. Now there is another section of this main road further down that goes around the bend, and then there's another section which I will be covering at some point in the coming weeks. But I hope you've enjoyed this look at Na Hat Road, found it interesting. A lot of businesses along there, as you will have seen, and keep an eye out for the next one.